Who am I? Well, I'm the princess of the Puget Sound, the Tacoma Tempest, and voted Spanaway's most talented drag queen on 152nd and Pacific Avenue. Lavender Life! And you are listening to Lifelines with me, Lavender Life. I want everyone to listen, but some, if not most episodes, might be considered inappropriate for folks under legal voting and drinking age. So, if you're underage and you're listening, I'm telling your mama. Now, why would you listen to my random little show here on Beyonce's internet? Who knows? Me. I knows. We're going to talk about things that you, the people, think matter, and things that you think don't matter in the larger scheme of schemes. Music, politics, movies, the weather, history, money, lack of money, your problems, my problems, our problems. Now, I personally can't guarantee you'll learn anything, but I can guarantee that it will be interesting, or moderately interesting. At the least, mildly interesting background noise to get you through life and traffic. So here is a quick outline of how the show's gonna go. Alright, what we're gonna do is we'll start off first with Ask Lavinda, where you can ask me any question about any topic. Advice, comments on the show, and just random things. Next we got Things That Bug Me, issues I'm currently having with the world, or just from day to day. We'll also have interviews. I'm going to interview queer and people of color that have interesting or seemingly controversial jobs, hobbies, or lives. We're going to have an Ask Wayne segment where you can ask Wayne any questions you may have about hair care or businessing things. I don't know much about business. I'm just a mouthpiece. Wayne's the brains, or at least that's what I tell him, so that he'll leave me alone and let me sleep. Upcoming events and appearances, I'll let you know where you can find me next, where you can see me next, where you can hear me next, where you can be near me next. And then ask the listeners. We're going to ask you any ideas that you may have for the show. You know, the idea for the show, like our lives, is to evolve after a season or so. To accomplish that, I want to hear your ideas. I want to hear your ideas so that I can take your ideas and use them as my ideas, or as a guide map to keep you all interested so you'll keep listening to me. Will you listen if I talk about the things you want to hear about? Or should I just keep talking about things that I want to talk about? Maybe we'll do a little bit of both. Yeah. So, let's get this thing started. Hello, everybody, and thank you for tuning in today to Lifelines with me, Lavinda Life. I'm your host, Lavinda Life, voted most popular drag queen on 152nd and Pacific Avenue in Tacoma. And today, we are going to start off with Ask Lavinda. Feel free to send me your questions and I will answer them. Any question you got. So, we'll probably just be answering one, maybe two questions. Probably just one. But if we answer two, more than likely it's because the interview was shorter and I decided to cut Ask Wayne because it's my show, not his show. And he needs to learn that. You hear me, Wayne? He hears me. Alright, so here's the question. Lavinda, there are all these guys out here saying that they are sides. And I want penetration. Am I being greedy? All these guys are now saying that they're sides and you want penetration. are you being greedy? Of course not. You're entitled to enjoy sex. Well, not entitled. I mean, you are entitled to enjoy sex. Like, no one's entitled to give you sex. Or you're not entitled to someone's sex. But you are entitled to enjoy yourself sexually. So, enjoy yourself sexually. If that's not something that you're interested in, that's not something you're interested in, and that's not something that you have to do. I myself am not interested in water sports. There are other people who are interested in water sports. One of the city girls is interested in water sports. Good for her. That doesn't do it for me. It doesn't do it for me. You know? But if that does it for you, good for you. As long as it's two consenting adults or any number of consenting adults, have at it. Have at it. But no, you're not being greedy. All you need to do really is just find, somebody who's gonna penetrate you. Really. Find yourself somebody nice to sit on. Sit on mama lap. Sit on mama lap. And something we really need to do is stop bottom shaming. Like, seriously. Stop bottom shaming and stop bottom verse shaming. You know why there are so many bottoms now on Grindr and all the different apps? It's because people are finally opening up sexually and coming to the conclusion and realization that all of us bottoms already knew, is that it felt good. Alright? It doesn't make you any less of a man. It doesn't make you any less of a person. It doesn't make you weak. It means that you enjoy sex. And you enjoy getting fucked. Alright? Alright. Alright. Welcome back. Religion! And coming out late in life. A lot of us come from very conservative backgrounds. Religious backgrounds. Whether you're a Christian, Muslim, Catholic, or Mormon, organized religion can make it difficult to live with true authenticity. Today, we're going to talk to somebody about their experiences and what living their life to the fullest means to them. What's your name?
My name's Nick.
All right.
Yeah.
What are your pronouns?
My pronouns are he, him.
Okay.
Nick Senzee, that's my name.
Nick Senzee. All right. And Nick, what do you do specifically?
That's a big question for me. I would say, basically, I am in school to become a psychotherapist.
Oh, cool.
And so this is like a second career for me. And so I've taken time to start over with that. I'm starting over in a lot of different ways in my life right now. I used to work in nonprofits. And then I was a stay-at-home dad for about 10 years.
Okay.
And so after we moved to the West Coast, I was not having the same career trajectory in nonprofits, and I needed to do something else. And also my resume was a little spotty after having been a stay-at-home dad. So I'm going back to school to be a therapist, and I think it's going to work. I think it's going to be a good fit, and I'm really pleased with it.
That's great to hear. That's really great to hear.
Yeah, I feel like there's a big need for actually any kind of male therapists. And obviously gay therapists are really important to our community.
Very much so, very much so. I remember the second therapist that I went to visit, like they had their degree in theology. Like,
like MDiv or whatever.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my.
I know,
I don't know.
Pastoral care, no.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know if we're gonna.
I personally have seen enough pastoral care that I don't care for pastoral care. That's all I'm talking about.
Yeah. So I've heard that there's a lot of importance put on being part of the community in and out of the Mormon church, to the point that the church is your whole life. Would you say that's true or false?
I would say this is very true. And part of that is they call religions like Mormonism high-demand religions. And that's kind of a way of saying a soft cult.
Oh, okay.
And Mormonism is like this. Now, I have to say that I was raised in the Midwest. I do not come from Utah, although I went to college twice over at BYU. And my growing up experience, my dad didn't go to church, and I did not. And my mother was, obviously she was pretty devout, but she was realistic. And I would not say I experienced the church as a cult.
Okay.
When people tell me that they experience Mormonism as a cult, I believe them, because I can easily see
it happening.
where there are milieus or particular families or, conservative communities, particularly in the Intermountain West, where they would experience it that way. I also feel like the more that we move forward in time, the more the people who are open-minded and reality-based, like, they are leaving the church. And so there's this Darwinian process where the most orthodox people are the ones left. So if you go into a church now, it's going to be a lot more, let's say, culty than it would have been 20 years ago.
I can understand that. That's
my
you have like
opinion.
a lot more progressive.
Yeah,
like,
the
people.
progressives are being made to feel very unwelcome. And so, in my view, it's very sad because Mormonism has the bones of a beautiful religion, but they have, taken the page out of the evangelicals' book and decided to just double down on not accepting people, not tolerating people, and frankly persecuting LGBTQ people.
What would you say is the church's stance on same-sex or non-heteronormative relationships?
Okay, so first of all, those are excommunicable offenses.
What is excommunication?
Excommunication, which, by the way, I should point out that the church officially does not use the term excommunication anymore. They are using a term called withdrawal of membership privileges or something like that, which is gaslighting because it is excommunication. What that means is your name is removed from the records of the church and you are not able to participate in the life of the
church?
Yeah, in the body of Christ. You're expulsed from it.
That sounds very, very possibly heart-wrenching to someone who has lived their whole life.
It can be. It can be. For example, my ex-boyfriend is a Mormon, and he was divorcing his wife at the time that we met, and the church came forward and asked him what kinds of sins he was doing, and they wanted to have what they used to call a church court. That is where there's a literal court, and it's a kangaroo court, and it's much like the Inquisition, like in terms, not that they killed you or set you on fire, but
no one suspects the Mormon Inquisition.
No, but that's really what it is, and the punishment is just being cast out of your community. This is a big deal because we were talking about how Mormonism very much has a culture to it. Now, if you historically, Mormons were driven out of the Midwest, and if you get into the history, it kind of gets sketchy, but the simple version is, people didn't like Mormons, so they were chased all the way to Utah. And because of that, and this regionalism has very much made Mormonism a culture as well as a religion. I can't really think of an analogous situation to this, but it's a nation. It really feels like a nation when you're in there. For example, I grew up in Kansas City, and I remember being a teenager and going to BYU and feeling like I belonged there. It was as if, it's like a French person who goes to Paris for for their school, or like a Catholic who goes to Vatican City, or a gay who goes to the Castro. It's like, I belong here, right? So, and that kind of illustrates like the status of Mormonism. We're not just, we go to church at this place. It's an identity.
Yeah. Were you officially asked to leave?
I have not been. And that is because my ex-wife was not going to push the issue, because she also left the church.
Okay.
Because of that, and because I stopped going, no one, came after me. And I have to tell you, at any point, the leadership of where I live could look me up in the books, and someone from the ward, because I still know people, could say, hey, Nick is gay and he's doing gay.
He's doing all the gay.
All the gay.
All the gay in Seattle at midnight.
All the gay, yeah, absolutely. Especially post-boyfriend, I'm like, I'm not going to not partake, okay? So if somebody were to say that to a new leader, the ones that I have now are fine with me, then they could actually come and like visit me and say, Brother Senzee, like, we're going to start a court on you. I don't think that will ever happen, because at this point it's just happening so often that I think the volume has overwhelmed them. But that is what we've been brought up with, is as a procedure.
How did you meet your wife?
We met at BYU.
Your ex-wife, sorry.
My ex-wife. I know, I've got 2 exes now. That's kind of different for me.
Yeah. It happens to the best of us.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, not me.
Because when you asked me to do, yeah, that's right. Oh, Lord Jesus. Oh, Lord. When you asked me to do this, you had asked me and my ex-boyfriend to do it, and it would have been a good interview, except he dumped me 2 weeks ago, and so now you get heartbroken Nick instead of happily ever after Nick.
Hey, heartbroken Nick is real Nick, and that's what we need on this show.
Yeah,
we need real
that's
people
right.
who are living real lives.
Yeah, that's right.
Have gone through, real things. That's what the purpose of the show is for people who are listening to meet real people, and hopefully meeting real people will build empathy for people who are going through certain situations.
Yeah.
Which will hopefully lead to understanding people who are going through those kinds of situations, which in the end hopefully helps them be less asshole-ish.
Well, we want that for everyone.
We do.
We want the less assholery, maximally less assholery.
Bigly.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, so I met my wife in graduate school at BYU in the French literature program.
Okay.
And because I have a master's degree in French literature, now I'm getting my master's degree in mental health counseling, but my first one was French literature, and we really were just really good friends. I actually asked her on a date, I remember. And first of all, and this is 1998, right?
Yes, the 1900s.
The 1900s. And like, this is like when Matthew Shepard is getting beaten out in the steppes of Wyoming.
Yeah.
And it was a different time, and it was not just Mormons who were in the closet back then.
Very much so.
It was like a hell of a lot of people in the closet back then.
We were scared.
And yeah, we were scared. And not only that, but it was not necessarily even for religious reasons you would be in the closet. Like, it was just socially not. So anyway, this is the backdrop, and so it was very common to sort of have this worldview of you just get married, and the closet was a very real option. Very real option. That was where it was coming from when I asked my wife out on a date, my ex-wife out on a date. And we're still really close, so it actually is hard for me not to say wife and things like that, because we've been together like 22 years in some form or another. She got really mad one time at the professor, and she just like stormed out, and I was like, that is so interesting. I thought to myself, I would never do that. So I asked her on a date, and we went to Wendover, which is in Nevada, and we went to a casino, which was just stupid because we just ate lunch there because we don't care about slot machines. But that was our first date. And then we just became really good friends. And she was one of these people who, if you're in relationships and there's like at some point you're just like, this person is family to me. They just feel like family. And so I was like, you know what? I actually never planned on getting married to a woman, but I thought this could work, you know? And it did actually work after a fashion. It did, and still does. We're still a family. I consider us a family.
Yeah, what's your relationship like with her now?
We are basically, we call each other ex-BFF. Or no. Oh, we have a little name.
BFFXs?
Yeah, BFX, I think, yeah, anyway. Something like that, can't remember, but actually she uses it, I'll have to ask her, but we're just like, we have 2 children, and we eat dinner together most nights. Back when I had a boyfriend, he was in California and I'm in Washington, and so I would commute to the Bay Area every other week, and so I didn't see my kids during those weeks. And so now I'm just home more, and one of the things that I did is we don't live in the same house. After I met my ex-boyfriend and it was time to, you know, actually push some kind of paper, I built myself a yurt in my back forest because I have 2 acres. And so I have my own place now, which is good for like grinder and stuff.
Living your cottagecore life.
Is this cottagecore? Do you think it counts?
It's like cottagecore / that dark literature, literary thingy.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like architectural too.
I feel like this is like a Dead Poet Society like dream.
Yeah.
Yeah. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being every single last one of them, how many of these books have you read?
In my house?
Yes.
I have read all of them.
What?
No, that's not true. 9. We'll say 9.
Oh my gosh. Just in case anyone is listening, there are more than 9 books here.
I don't know how many books there are, but
There's a lot.
I just have this one I started reading while you're fussing with the recording.
Relationships where gay men have married women, you know, have happened for centuries upon centuries.
Right.
What would you say, do you feel, are some misconceptions about gay men who have married women or are married to women?
I feel like you have to operate with the understanding that this person is trying to do what they believe is right. And, for example, I don't think I met an out gay man or hung out with one until I was, like, coming out myself. And I think that is partly you're kind of taught gay people are dangerous or somehow gonna, you know, lead you into sodomy, which they certainly did for me. But like, you need to stay away because it's dangerous if you have those tendencies, right?
Yeah.
So you need to understand, I think, that they're a product of their raising. I mean, they are doing what they think is right. And, you know, nowadays I feel like, oh my gosh, they're not themselves. One of the things that I had to realize when I came out is that I am a very open person. I like to be open. I like to be myself. And I had hit a ceiling on how open I could be when I couldn't tell people what kind of sex I liked.
Yeah.
And
or just like different facts about yourself.
yeah, like I know how to sew, right? Like,
It's not something you might have talked about at, you know,
exactly,
at church.
like when the sports ball, whatever, you know, like.
You're like, oh, what? Yeah, I made one of those footballs for my son.
Yeah,
because
that's
I
right.
sew.
That's right, exactly right. Like I make the Halloween costume still. That's my job. But there is a misconception that the gay man is sort of just using the woman. I don't feel that's true. I feel that all of the gay men that I know, and I know quite a few because I belong to this community, and my ex-boyfriend was married to a woman too, and between the two of us we had 6 kids together. So
Yeah, I've sexed quite a few.
Yeah, that's right. I bet you have. And we love our wives in the way that a gay man can love a woman, right? Like, one of the things that makes me sort of incandescent and ragey about...
What's incandescent?
Oh, incandescent is like fiery.
Oh, okay. Good.
Incandescent. We usually say incandescent.
I was thinking like iridescent.
No,
Like
no,
some shiny.
Incandescent's like a
makeups.
light bulb, so it's like something that's combusting. But it makes me very angry and triggered when children who are like 20 years old right now are feeling the need that they're gay and they need to marry women. I'm like, the fuck is this? We have proved this doesn't work by now. Like in my generation, kind of was sort of common. Like it didn't work out any better, but like now it's like you got all this data about what these marriages are going to end up like, and people are like, oh, well, we're going to defy the odds. Bullshit. Come back and talk to me when you're 37 or 40. Like, that makes me crazy about that. And we need to be really...
Are you talking about, like, that TV show that tried to come out and then got canceled? Like, My Husband's Not Gay?
I don't know about that show.
Oh my gosh, yeah, there was this TV show on TLC that was supposed to come out, but ended up not coming out.
Oh, was it too controversial?
It was called, like, My Husband's Not Gay.
Oh, Jesus.
And it was about these gay men who was married to women, and they was like, oh no, I just like, yes, I'm attracted to men, but like I don't act on that attraction, and I love my wife. I love her so much. Look at how I caress her hair.
And then they're getting gangbanged at the truck stop.
No, they wasn't.
Really?
No.
Oh.
According to them, they weren't.
They were virginal. Okay.
They were out playing basketballs.
Virtuous. So when you are younger, obviously your hydraulics work a little better. And it takes less to...
Like the wind just blows.
Exactly. And so you can do those things and you can make babies. And honestly, it sounds terrible. But it feels like you're doing a disservice to the person and to yourself. And it feels like you're being fake to the universe. But it's coming from a place of everyone's trying their best. Now, I think one of the reasons that my ex-wife and I had such a good outcome is because I actually told her first. I did not come out and say, I am gay, and in an ideal world, I would be, sticking it into boys.
When did you come out?
She's the first person I told, and I didn't tell anyone for like 20 more years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Now, I have to tell you, I did conversion therapy.
Oh.
I did.
Intriguing.
I did conversion
and
therapy.
Sorry.
They don't work. I did not find it a super, super traumatic because by the time I did it, I was like, I don't know, I was 30. I was like, hey, you know what? I just had a child. I need to address this gay thing because apparently it's not going to go away. And maybe this is going to help. So anyway, it's kind of like, it's like the psychotherapy version of like clothes hangers for abortions.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So what you're saying is they just get in there.
It's under the table.
And then they like just try to like
it's under the table.
Scratch everything out.
Yeah. Well, they just like go like it's just like for example, one of the things that we did is that there was an exercise in which we all took our clothes off and stood in a circle.
You guys, we are getting...
And I was like...
We are getting top A1 information about the practices of the converted.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus.
The non-converted.
Okay, so this, like...
You see how strong gay is? You see how strong gay is?
Well, gay is strong. No, so this is a thing where I'm like, okay, I was not from Utah. I didn't experience the church as a cult. My father was a very cynical person. I mean, he was homophobic as fuck, but he died when I was 17. But I was not raised to just accept whatever came into my inbox, right? And I went to this conversion therapy. I thought, hey, you know what? It wasn't illegal at the time. Well, it's kind of illegal. It was still real questionable. I went on a workshop for 3 days in Arizona, and we were all of these gay boys in the some like cabin or whatever. And we were doing exercises that involved like holding each other for hours at a time, for like an hour. And then we would eat all together, and then we would do some, I don't know, Indian, like, medicine man shit.
Oh, peyote?
No, of course no drugs.
Oh.
I mean, right? They couldn't have anything, like, actually helpful or useful.
I mean, yeah, you know, be booty butt naked in front of anybody, but don't do drugs.
And the leader was so hot.
Of course.
He was buff. He was hot.
They always have to be.
Yeah.
Because they need to keep the gays attention. Like, they need to make sure that the gays are paying attention.
I was like, can I drop to my knees right now, babe? Like, it was bad. So, anyway.
Never go to conversion therapy and try to convert people.
I mean, like, it would be fun to be, nowadays I'd be a troll in there.
Yeah.
But no, you guys, these people are fucked up.
Yes.
Right? Like, I had the advantage of, I was a successful person, I had my wits about me, I was like, let's see what happens, it's a retreat in Arizona. That's kind of how I was about it. And then, when I got done, I was like, well, that didn't work. I was like, that didn't work. It didn't work. I mean, I was very evidence-based about it. But I did know that there were a lot of people who had had a lot of pain in there. And I have managed to escape a lot of the pain that other people have had. And I'm grateful for that. I'm very grateful for it. Doesn't mean that it's been easy and that I haven't done things like attempted conversion therapy. But I have a lot of compassion for people who are put in these situations simply because that's the way the world is constructed around them.
Yeah. What's your relationship with religion now? Have you found a pop diva to worship?
Oh, I'm reading this book called Cultish. It's by Amanda something.
Well, can I please invite you to the Church of Beyonce?
I
of
mean,
Saint Destinies?
I mean, I really like Halo.
Yes.
That's my favorite.
It's an amazing hymn.
Yeah, it is.
Hit me like a ray of sun.
That's right.
Nah.
I can
good
still
times.
like your halo. So, I went to a Pride Festival thing with a Mormon group. It's called Mormons Building Bridges. Of course, they don't exist anymore because the Mormon Church doesn't want any bridges. But they don't want none. They've made that real clear. There was this booth, and it was called Hug a Mormon. And I went, and you hug like queer people, and you give them a button that says "I hugged a Mormon," and it had a rainbow on it or whatever. It was cute. Anyway, I was there, and honestly, the same spiritual experiences that I have had my whole life that I associated with the church, I had one of my own, and that was independent. I am still a very spiritual person. I consider myself a Christian.
Oh,
Which Mormons consider themselves Christian.
that's what I thought.
Mormonism has a very beautiful cosmology that I love, and I believe a lot of it still.
What's cosmology?
Oh, it's like the way that deity works and how the world was created, and
Oh, okay.
and it's beautiful. For example, we believe that there is a Heavenly Mother as well as a Heavenly Father. We believe that people, and see, I still say we, because that's how deep it is. But we believe that families are sealed together forever, but they've sort of corrupted that into being this, well, you have to have a nuclear family. But originally, the whole sealing was to seal everyone together into a human family.
Have you been able to find a community or like a sense of community?
I have not found my ex-wife goes to an Episcopalian church. Usually Mormons who leave the church but are still religious find their way to the Episcopalian church. I actually found the church that my ex-wife goes to, and it's because they have a gay priest. And I like him very much, and if I ever get married, I want him to marry me. But I find it boring.
Oh, the Episcopalian.
Yeah, and so...
Well, if you're ever looking for like a church that's doing stuff, go to a Baptist church.
Oh, Jesus, no. So I went to Baptist Elementary School.
Oh.
And they told me that in Independence, Missouri, that I was going to hell because I was a Mormon. And I was like, oh, honey, I'm going to hell, but not because I'm a Mormon. Let me tell you that.
Gosh.
Let me tell you that, not because I'm a Mormon and a devil worshiper. No. No, see, this is the thing that Mormons piss me off, because Mormons are like, oh, we're Christian. We're you know, like, they totally, like, identify with evangelicals. And I'm like, y'all, evangelicals hate you. You're Satan's spawn, and you're too dumb to know it.
Oh, no.
It's bad.
Well, I recently read that the LDS Church accepts queer people, but
Oh, Jesus.
not queer actions. They're
Well,
saying, go ahead and be gay, but
This is gaslighting.
don't do gay.
This is what is called gaslighting. What they're saying is, we don't hate you as long as you act, you know,
Straight.
it's not like you have to even act straight. You can go around flouncing if you want to, but they need to know where your penis is.
Oh, that sounds fun.
If your penis is in the wrong place, they are going to excommunicate you.
I didn't know that Mormonism was primarily about where you put your genitals.
I mean, okay, so the first question I asked my ex-boyfriend when they wanted to start proceedings on this court was, has there been sin? Which
But-
means, did you fuck a boy?
Are you sure? Because, like, in the Mormon church, from what I hear, like, there's a lot of sin. So, like, if you was out having, like, coffee and cigarettes with somebody, that's sin.
Okay, I'm sitting here drinking whiskey right now, right?
You're also not a Mormon, so you can.
I can. However, sex is a different level than everything else. Actually, I've come to realize it's kind of a reverse sex cult, because they have built it up to where what you do sexually is all that matters, and they just want no sex instead of...
Just straight sex.
It's every bit as hyper-focused on sex as any other organization. It's just that this kind of sex they want is none. Or straight sex. You know, that's good, but, you know, we don't talk about that. That's the baseline. We just don't talk about that. They asked my ex-boyfriend if there had been sin, by which they meant, have you had sex with a man? He told them, and I thought this was brilliant, gay men have gay sex. And that's all he told them. And he's like, if you start proceedings on me, I will just withdraw my name. I'll just send a letter. And so he did, and he just pulled out. I mean, that's an unfortunate turn of phrase.
Oh my gosh. What was I gonna ask you?
You're going to edit this out.
Probably. Maybe I won't. Maybe I will. Probably. Oh, so what is something that you are looking forward to?
Like about anything? I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to graduating my program and starting my private practice. I really want to work with 3 populations. I want to work with gays, cult survivors, and tech bros. So I'm looking forward to that.
Why those?
Well,
two groups?
gays and cult survivors, that's pretty obvious, because I get those populations. The tech bros, I just like those industries, and there are a lot of guys who need help, and I am smart enough to keep up with them.
Okay, smarter fans.
Well, we try, but I don't do the numbers, so that's what's happened. And I'll exude niceness and wisdom.
That's good. That's what we all need in life.
Call my practice that Niceness and Wisdom LLC.
Any words of encouragement for people that are like coming out late in life?
I think that it's like they say about planting a tree. They say the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, and the second best time is now. And I feel like it's very important to be kind to yourself.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who've come out late in life due to religious trauma or religious constrictions. They are very insecure about how good of a gay they are. Do they qualify to be a gay?
Oh, like if they're not like being gay enough.
Yeah, that's right. Like things
you
like,
have to
oh, I
have, like
don't,
a certain number of
or like
of
Taylor
flowers
Swift
in
or
your hats.
whatever.
Yeah.
I don't keep up with Taylor Swift, or maybe I like some kind of sports ball that.
I like shuffleboard.
It's right, and I feel like there's this deep insecurity about, do I belong to this community? If you're like me, I was not socialized gay at all. Now, mind you, my whole entire life, the glitter flew out of my mouth.
Yes, I heard.
Right. I didn't know gay people. it actually is so interesting that I independently discovered a lot of gay things just
By just being yourself.
Yeah, like Absolutely Fabulous. I know every word of every season. I can just like quote it. And that's so gay.
Wait a second. Are you telling me
So gay.
you were born gay?
I absolutely was born gay. And you know what? I knew it. Nick said to Nick Self, you're gay and you're just fucked because you're gonna have to really struggle with this your whole life. I was very practical. A very, very common approach is to feel like there's no such thing as gay and all men want to fuck other men, but we just control ourselves.
That sounds weird.
But you know what? People tell themselves stories.
That is very true. The
People-
mental gymnastics
Yes.
that people will do
Yeah.
to make it okay
Right.
for them to do certain things.
Right.
Like, oh, Lavinda, it's okay for me to put myself in your mouth, but like, you know, if you kiss me, that's gay.
Okay, so there's this thing that was developed at BYU. I just footnoted this in a paper I wrote. It's called soaking, and that's where the dude puts his dick in a vagina and just sits there and doesn't move up and down, and so they somehow think that that's compliant with not having sex. And then the other loophole they're trying to exploit is sometimes it gets somebody to jump up and down on the bed so there is friction.
Oh,
So it's like some kind of like,
So you have to have 3 people there?
I mean,
And
I'm
then,
like,
no, I was just laying there.
but listen,
and then,
you got like this is just.
I was just laying and soaking.
I was just soaking. It was just. I mean, look, like I was like that the first time I had gay sex. I was like, well, you know, the dick was hard and I just fell onto it. Like,
yes,
you
of
know,
course.
like yeah, I just
That's-
fell onto
that's
it.
how it works.
It's how it goes. You just, you know, sometimes there's a dick and you slip and fall.
So I'm gonna ask you a couple of Mormon rumors that I've heard.
Oh Jesus. Okay,
Yes.
I will know about them.
Of course you will, because you know everything about Mormonism.
Well, we keep up.
Yes. So is that hole in a sheet thing real?
No.
Oh.
Oh wait, what?
The hole in the sheet, like allegedly, if you do your
Oh.
bad through the sheet, it's okay.
Oh, if you have sex through a sheet? Mm-hmm. No, that's Hasidic Judaism.
I thought that was Mormonism.
Yeah, no.
Oh,
No.
man.
Now there's a thing that happens in the temple. It's called initiatory. It used to be that you would have just like this sheet with a hole, and you would be like, it was a sheet and the sides were open. So the guys would like waddle around and their big, huge old dicks were swinging out, and then the worker in the temple like anoints you with oil and kind of like brushes your pubes during that whole process. But that's more modest now because they have like initiated jumpsuit types of things.
You said they brush your pubes.
I mean, they brush my pubes. Like, because they're like just anointing you. Like, I'm making this motion across your hips, right? With your hand, because they got oil on their hands, and they're supposed to touch you in, like, basically on your hip bones. On your hip bones, on your what do we call those?
Cum gutters.
Cum gutters.
Yes.
Yeah, they basically touch you on your cum gutters. I mean, I wish I had cum gutters,
I
but
wish I had handlebars.
what's a handlebar?
It's the same thing.
Oh, okay.
It's
yeah.
just different people call it different.
Okay,
Call it different
I didn't
ways.
call it handlebar. I like cum gutter. So they touch you on both, and then obviously they would like, you know, end up brushing across your pubes, and that was pretty intimate.
It sounds
And
very intimate.
also, then you would have to stand up. Like you usually, there were multiple people there, so you kind of have to wait in a line to have this process done to you. So that's the thing that I thought of when you said sheet. But no Mormon has sex through a hole in a sheet.
Okie dokie.
Not at all.
Is the underwear a real thing? The like full
Oh,
body
yeah.
johns.
Well, are they full body? You can get full body kind. It's called temple garments. And they're just white, and they're really... I find them ugly. I do not find them sexy. You can find them all over the internet in
Yes,
porn.
I've seen.
Like, because Mormon porn is the Japanese schoolgirl of gay porn. It's true. You cannot say that's not true.
I will not confirm, nor will I deny.
Anyway, and then there's the kind of garments like for the shirts. There's this kind with this big scoop neck, and that we used to call, like at BYU, like all the guys who wear a T-shirt with that kind of garment underneath of it. They would call that the celestial smile because it was this scoop neck T-shirt. right? And so, but I was, being gay and caring about how things looked, I wore the, like, jersey top thing, and at one point I tried to, like, always make it so that it wasn't looking like I was wearing two t-shirts. I went to great pains to, like, kind of make it look like I was not just horribly... Ugh. The garments, I was so glad to be rid of them. I was so glad to be rid of them. And to this day, I usually wear briefs because I'm so tired of shoving down those long pants garments down into my jeans when they ride up. Right? So I'm just like, fuck it. I want the things I had when I was a little boy. I want to not have to have fabric riding up into my crotch and under my jeans. That's just me.
Well, I hope the only thing riding up in your jeans is whatever you want riding up your jeans.
I mean, you know what? I will accept whatever comes riding wise.
Go team.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Nick, I want to thank you for coming on. You have been a ridiculously interesting guest.
Oh, well, I do try. I would be happy to be on anytime you want.
Go team. And thank you very much for giving us a glimpse into your world and, some of the things that you've gone through. I think it'll be very, very helpful for, a lot of people listening. It'll help to hopefully help them to give people more grace than they've been giving people.
Yeah, well, we all have our journey, and sometimes the journey is messy.
Very.
Very messy. And I say sometimes, probably always, some kind of messy. And the people whose journeys are messiest are the people who don't admit they're messy.
Ooh. Lavinda is messy as hell.
That's right.
So, again, thank you very much for coming on Lifelines. You ever saw
Lifelines with a Y.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. No, that's what I've...
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, it's like that. All right, good shit.
Okay,
thanks for coming on. Have
You're
a great
welcome.
night. And we'll be back with the next segment momentarily. Things that bug me.
Something that bugs me is people in power who constantly use rumors, fake news, to push their own political agendas. And the majority of the time, their political agendas really just come down to what's coming in or out of their pockets. As we all know, eyelashes, electronics, wigs, and space rental don't grow on trees yet. They're working on it. So we need dollars and cents to keep this going. And while I hate to put my cup out for change, here's my cup. Hopefully you're enjoying what we've put together so far and want more. If so, please drop some pennies in my cups, labeled Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal. You can Venmo me at Hair by Wayner Lavinda Life, HAIRBYWAYNR LAVINDALYF. At Cash App, Wayne Rouser, WAYNEROWSER. And PayPal, Hair by Wayner, WAYNERHARBYWAYNR. In the subject, put Lifelines, so I can use it for the show specifically. Upcoming events! I currently have no upcoming events. Hire me. Shoot me an email. You can email me at lavindalYFE@gmail.com. Let me know about whatever event you have coming up that you were interested in having me appear at. Send me a offer and we can go from there. Well, kids, that's the show for today. I hope you enjoyed our interview and it got you thinking. We'll be back in 2 weeks with a new episode coming out on Monday. You can check the radiotacoma.org website to re-listen to the show and share the link. Remember to send any questions or suggestions for the show to lavindalife@gmail.com. LAVINDALYFE@gmail.com. All messages to the show can be as anonymous as a 2 a.m. sleepover if you'd like. Lastly, you can find me on any of the socials by Googling #LavindaLife. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. All right, we will see you in a couple of weeks, and that's all for now, kids. Remember, Lavinda loves ya.